What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. In this video, there's actually multiple different stimulus checks, tax rebate checks, property tax rebate checks, and multiple different states and even the federal government sending out checks and relief and inflation relief, multiple different types of programs sending out money to Americans. And some of it's going out this week. And I'm going to show it to you directly on the screen so you can see it for yourself and read it as well. So let me go over multiple different programs, who's getting the money, and also some that are going to be coming out or potentially coming out here in the future. So that's part of my goal here on this YouTube channel. I cover everything from Social Security raises to the $10,000 to $20,000 of student loan forgiveness, which is coming out here for over 40 million Americans. Child tax credit payments, which was last year $3,000 to $3,600 for that was over 60 million children. This year, it's still going to be in effect, but it's gonna if they can't pass an enhanced child tax credit, it's going to go back down to $2,000. You will need to file a tax return, even if you're not required to file a tax return. You will need to file a tax return to get that. Just like last year, the monthly checks that went out to people were only for half the year. You needed to file a tax return to get the other half of the money, which is $1,500 to $1,800 per child. If you didn't do that, you can still do that. Okay. There's also multiple different states that will give you a state extra bonus child tax credit on the state level. You got to file a state tax return to get that. Okay. Also, there's an adult tax credit known as the earned income tax credit for low income adults on multiple different states that you can get as well. And again, this is just part of my mission here on my channel to help out your finances and let you guys know about all these different programs on the federal level, the state level, and pretty much everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, click the subscribe button down below, then click the bell icon that appears after you subscribe because it's completely free to do so. And this way you won't miss out on our new videos. And thank you for liking and sharing these videos with your family. I'm here to keep you up to date here on a daily basis. Okay, let's jump in to multiple different checks that are going out here this week and this month. Here we go. Okay, number one, cash in new hero stimulus checks. I like the sound of that. I like the sound of hero stimulus checks. Honestly, I think there's a hero in every one of us, but I still like the sound of that. Worth more than $400, going out to thousands of dollars. Will you pocket one? Well, at least here's who's eligible for these particular checks. Remember, there's multiple different types of stimulus checks. If you watch my channel, you know this. If you listen, there's not just the one big stimulus check anymore. There's multiple different types of checks that go out to different states, different groups of people. And that's why I show you guys this stuff. That's why I tell you guys about this stuff. Stimulus checks worth more than $400 are going out to thousands of Americans this week as part of an effort to thank workers. This specific one, time payments of $487.45, began being issued on October 5th and are slated to go out to over 1 million people, 1,025,655 people. So over 1 million people. Here's who gets it. The frontline workers. You can see a picture of some of them here. The workers in Minnesota will receive direct payments to thank them for their efforts during the pandemic. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz announced the direct payment in a news conference on October 3rd. Minnesota Governor says, quote, "I'm grateful for the work Minnesotans did to help people across our state stay healthy and safe through the pandemic. We've seen this from a bunch of other states as well, particularly like Florida. In fact, the Florida Governor Ron DeSantis just announced a second round of checks for Florida first responders, $1,000 here again. So that happened again in Florida. There's been multiple different states that have done this. If you've watched my channel, I let you guys know about these when they're happening. Minnesota announced on Monday that applicants who chose direct deposit will see the compensation deposits within 10 business days. So these are going out right now. Let me know if you've received them already. You may have already received these in Minnesota, and they're worth, what was it, $487.45. Not a bad, nice little bonus check. Massachusetts taxpayers face a critical deadline this month for their relief checks. A key deadline is fast approaching for Massachusetts. Bay Staters must file their 2021 personal income tax returns by October 17th if they did not file their taxes yet this year. It's an extension to file on time, not to pay, state officials wrote, if you owe anything, that is. Interest will be charged on any amount due with a return, even if you have a valid extension. People who hit this mid-October extension date are also eligible to receive pending tax refunds, which can amount to hundreds or thousands of dollars, and depending on the individual's personal state income tax liability, triggered by a state law known as Chapter 62F. That state statute continues to scramble talks of other tax relief. Potentially, there could be more coming, plus millions of dollars in economic developments and investments. The Baker administration anticipates that Bay Staters will receive a return or a refund check equating to about 13% of their personal state income tax liability. No action is needed to secure this additional tax credit. California's Golden State stimulus check payments started going out here on Friday. See how much you'll get. These stimulus checks are the largest population-wise, going out to over 23 million people here for the state of California. So, some of these other states, they send out stimulus checks to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. California is sending out stimulus checks to 23 million-ish people. And they started going out here a few days ago to the first people kind of in line to get them. Here's the details on this. In fact, let me show you it directly from the governor. It kind of makes people kind of believe it more for some reason, as if these headlines directly from news sources don't let you believe it enough. Here's the governor speaking. Check it out.
Look out for checks either in your mailbox or directly in your account. The Golden State stimulus is on its way.
As you can see here, millions of qualifying Californians will receive up to $1,050 as part of the middle class tax refund program. The first round of payments set to go out last Friday. They've already started to go out. Approximately 23 million tax-paying California residents are eligible to receive the payments, with smaller payments going to high earners. The basics of this are $350 per person, up to $1,050. New legislatures will also take up Newsom's gasoline windfall tax and possible another rebate in December to put a gasoline profits windfall tax on the gas and oil companies who have raised gas prices over $1, in some cases $1.50, just in the last 30 days because of what they call refinery maintenance. So they just raise gas prices $1 to $1.50 in 30 days just because they wanted to. They're considering passing a windfall tax on the oil companies who are just raising the prices to whatever they want, just like the United Kingdom did. So the United Kingdom did pass a windfall tax on oil and gas company profits as inflation bites, and they actually give it back to the people on a portion of the excess exorbitant profits of the oil and gas companies over their highest profits that they've ever made ever. They take a portion of that and tax them on it, and they redistribute it back to the people. So California is gonna hold a hearing on that as well, and possibly have a rebate to send back to the people, as the gas companies are just charging what they literally raised gas prices $1 to $1.50 in the last 30 days just because they wanted to in California. And they're blaming it on refinery maintenance. But yet remember that the oil companies say, Chevron CEO says there may never be a new refinery built in the US ever again. They also said here, we haven't had a new refinery built in the entire United States since the 1970s. Over 50 years. So they just don't want to invest in America. And remember that they're purposely trying to keep the price of oil and gas high. Remember that OPEC just cut oil production by 2 million barrels to raise the price of oil and gas by 2 million barrels per day so that gas and oil prices can go even higher. And remember, this isn't even the US, but this does include the oil companies because they're going to profit from this. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on this, but guess who's going to pay for it? Me and you. The UK didn't stand for this. Are we going to stand for this? I don't know. You let me know your thoughts in the comments. Tax rebate 2022 bonus Thanksgiving payments worth $300 to be sent out in Idaho. Idaho residents can expect as much as an extra $300 in their wallet this Thanksgiving, as long as they file their taxes on time, Governor Brad Little announced here recently. The rebate checks were approved during the Idaho legislature's special session on September 1st and are part of approximately a $1 billion package to reduce the state's record budget surplus, cut taxes, and increase education funding. So far, the state has issued 192,000 rebate checks totaling $133 million. So those are still going out, it looks like, in Idaho. By Thanksgiving, almost everybody that didn't file late or have a complication or get flagged should be done. All the direct deposits that don't have any kind of flag on them should be done. Individual filers can expect a minimum of $300 for their rebate checks. Joint filers can expect a minimum of $600 checks in the state of Idaho. Governor McKee, I think this is Rhode Island, announces child tax rebate checks will start being issued this week. Over 40 million in payment distributions for nearly 115,000 qualified families to occur over the next several weeks. He announced the state will start issuing their child tax rebate checks to qualified families beginning today. This was actually last Monday. So those checks are going out here this week as well. Child tax rebate checks. So a lot of states have child tax credits on the state level as well. I've been keeping you up to date on those as well. That's part of the way that states are giving money back to a lot of people as well. I'll keep you up to date here on those also. Also, here's an interesting one. Thousands of people in Ohio Supreme Court ruling on unemployment stimulus checks, still waiting. God, I remember reporting on this. How many months ago was this? Why are we still waiting on this? I mean, this is God. God bless anybody still waiting on this. Probably forgot about this. Here's the details on this. It's been more than 4 months since the Ohio Supreme Court heard arguments over whether Governor Mike DeWine had the authority to cut off $300 per week unemployment pandemic assistance checks to unemployed Ohioans 2 months before the federal program that funded them ended. What a nice guy. Just, take those checks and just end them and just say, hey, we're taking these money right out of your pockets. While hundreds of thousands of Ohioans are waiting, it's not unusual for the court to take several months to decide a case. Wow. In May, the Ohio Supreme Court heard the case. The Ohio Attorney General said businesses that were having trouble hiring asked Governor Mike DeWine to stop the checks, which were funded with pandemic relief money from the Federal CARES Act. By the way, the states didn't have to pay anything on this. The federal government gave the states money for this, so it didn't cost the states anything. It was kind of free money from the federal government, for lack of a better way to say this. Former Attorney General Mark Dan represented those who had gotten the checks, said the Constitution, I think the state constitution here, gives the legislature the power to make decisions about unemployment payments, not the governor. So he didn't have the authority to cut off the checks sole handedly. It would have had to go to a vote through the state, which didn't happen. They said the case affects some 300,000 people in Ohio. There could be other states that still have cases like this pending. Let me know in the comments section if you know about this, who were or are jobless, and the checks total around $900 million in federal dollars. So that's almost $1 billion waiting for potential Ohioans. And again, this isn't any state money. This is just federal money that the Ohio governor just cut off and said, don't send it to the Ohioans. Just send it back to the federal government. I don't know. So let me know your thoughts here on this. I'll keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Make sure to click the subscribe button down below to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet, so you don't miss out on new videos. As I said, it's completely free to do so. There's going to be more and more programs like this. We're going to have a massive Social Security raise announcement coming here this week. I'll link you to a video here with more information on that, and the student loan $10,000 to $20,000 forgiveness coming here soon as well. I have some more information coming out here for you probably in the next video about that. There's actually a lawsuit going on about that. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share these videos with your friends and family, and I'll keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And here is my newest video with details about the Social Security raise. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.